So I have the pleasure of introducing the Jean Haggerty Award. I'd like to acknowledge, I am Vera Cage, Vera Duangmani Cage. I'm the Vice President of Amherst Media. Thank you, each and every one of you, for being here with us. So let me introduce the previous awardees. In 2010, we awarded the Jean Haggerty Community Engagement and Social Change Award to Isaac Ben Ezra. In 2011, it was Cynthia Brubaker. 2012 is our esteemed treasurer, Ed Severance, who's here with us tonight. In 2013, we awarded it to students, founders of Student News, Joshua Wilson, Jesse Chasen Tabor, Charles Brewer, and Graham Churchill. In 2014, we awarded it to the late Judy Brooks, who passed away last year, July 3rd. In 2015, it was Jerry Gates. In 2016, it was awarded to Representative Ellen Story. In 2017, it was the Rotary Club. We have a member here. Thank you for supporting Amherst Media. Yes. In 2018, it was the Amherst League of Women Voters, and we have a spokesperson here with us, Adrienne Teresi. And in 2019, most of us are here for this amazing, beautiful woman. So the annual award was created in 2009 in tribute to the late Jean Haggerty, who was a beloved Amherst Media producer and board member who dedicated her life to community betterment and advocacy for those without a voice. Each year, the Amherst Board of Directors recognizes an individual or organization who believes in and demonstrates the importance of community engagement to obtain social change. Earlier in the week, I got an email from our president, Dr. Demetria Shabazz, asking for Jerry Gates' email. And as I was Googling, that's my research tool, for his email, I came upon the 2015 video of when Jerry Gates received his award. And who introduced to us Jean Haggerty was our beloved Judy Brooks. So I felt like this morning she was really speaking to me and really shining her warm rays to us, to continue the good fight, to stay strong, and to stay committed to our goals. So when she introduced her friend Jean Haggerty, she admired this woman for her work, to being the voice for the voiceless. And Judy said, you know, everyone should take a piece of Jean Haggerty. And so in terms of taking care of each other, taking care of our community. And I believe that's essentially our mission here at Amherst Media. That's why I think, you know, I delight in serving the public. So on behalf of Amherst Media, thank you everyone on location at our 246 College Street headquarters, and to our loyal viewing audience as we delight in presenting the Jean Haggerty Award for Community Service to socially conscious entrepreneur, mentor, and local activist, Mrs. Pat Ononibaku. On today, Thursday, October 17th, at our 43rd annual meeting, heading into our 44th year of Amherst Media. So I'm going to claim it, Dee. Being in existence in Amherst, Massachusetts. So hopefully next year in 2020, we can claim our headquarters to be on the corner of Main and Gray. Yes. Yes. So this is a very historic moment. So thank you, each and every one of you, for participating. Some folks came and left. They couldn't be here for the rest of the evening. A lot of people expressed their regrets for not being here, but they wish Mrs. Pat, who she is affectionately called in our community, wish her well and wish her luck here. So Mrs. Pat immigrated to the United States from Nigeria in 1983. She and her husband, Charles, settled in Amherst, and raised their 5 children who all attended the Amherst public school system. They are also foster parents to many children. Mrs. Pat's contribution to the Amherst and Amherst-Pelham regional schools is extensive and meaningful. For 3 decades, she has been a formidable advocate for academic excellence and a voice for equal educational access and opportunities for all children, including students with special needs. So this is a woman not about rhetoric or semantics, but she's about action. Mrs. Pat was active in the Fort River Elementary School Parent Guardian Organization. She helped organize Alana, African, Latino, Hispanic, Asian, and Native American Committee to increase parent engagement. She co-founded Diversity and Anti-Bias Parent Committee to address racism. She served as the Special Education Parent Advisory Council Chair for a number of years. Inspired by her own son who has autism, Mrs. Pat and another mom co-founded Multicultural Families of Amherst area, a program which offered information programming and support for students with disabilities and their families. Mrs. Pat participated in Amherst study circles, dialogues on race and class, which brought parents and community members across the racial and economic divide to forge trust and solidarity as they worked together to push for a more just public school system. Mrs. Pat is a founding member of Race and Discipline Action Rights, also called RADAR, to raise awareness and end racial disparities in school discipline. Unfortunately, that problem is not solved, so we need to continue to push and fight. Mrs. Pat continues to be involved with RADAR through a subcommittee that selects a school district employee for the Norma Jean Anderson Civil Rights and Academic Achievement Award, which is presented during the annual Martin Luther King Jr. Day Community Breakfast in Amherst. So Mrs. Pat, of course, is naturally shy about receiving an award because she's so used to giving them away. Owner and operator of Baku's African restaurant for more than 10 years. The shop closed in 2016. She's now involved in a new business venture called Baku Care. And as a disclosure, I am an employee, and we have another employee here and another one over there too. Mrs. Pat manages to find opportunities to mentor youth in work ethics, women in entrepreneurship, and economic empowerment. There are a few people who can rival Mrs. Pat, her deep and lasting impact on the lives of youth and adults in our community. We thank the community in joining us to celebrate Mrs. Pat at our annual meeting as we highlight her decades-long service to our community, and a big thank you, of course, first and foremost, for Mrs. Pat and her family for generously sharing your name, life, and work with Amherst Media by accepting this award. Before you come up, I would like to introduce 3rd Hampshire District Representative Mindy Dahm to the podium, please.
I am so honored to be here to honor you, Pat. Completely. And it's all true in terms of the action and advocacy and support for the whole community, but I also know that you also do this on a one-on-one basis. It's kind of weird to be here because I actually don't see anybody except you, which is wonderful, but I apologize if I'm not looking at other people. I just want to recall one instance of me knocking on doors on summer days after a long day at work, and people are home after their long days of work, including you, and I knocked on your door, and you looked at me and you said, "I think you need a glass of water. Why don't you come in and have a seat?" And we sat and we talked for about, I don't know, half hour, and you gave me ice cold water. You would have given me other things, but it was just incredibly kind. And that kind of kindness and that kind of genuine caring about people is what you bring to this community in your work and in your life every day. And I'm grateful that I get to represent you, but more grateful that I can call you a friend, and that when we see each other, we can hug and say hello. So, in addition to that, I get to give you a citation from the House of Representatives. So I'm just going to read what it's in terms of just the honor part. It's so I like to, when I read these, I like to actually have trumpets and but I left them at home. It's like that's the kind of thing, like with flags and be it hereby known to all. That's what it says. That the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations. I'm going to say to Mrs. Pat, but it says your full name. In recognition of your receiving the Jean Haggerty Award for Community Service from Amherst Media, acknowledging your hard and devoted work to the betterment of the Amherst community. Thank you, Pat. Thank you. Carmen, you go in the middle.
D.
We also
I love you.
present you, this is our award, the Jean Haggerty Award. And nothing quite as grand as that in
I
the
actually think probably
proclamation.
more grand.
But Pat Ononibaku, Amherst Media's 2019 Jean Haggerty Award, Community Engagement and Social Change.
Oh my goodness.
So, thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness.
Would you like to say a few words?
Of course,
Here,
yeah.
I'll hold
of
this.
course.
I'm gonna.
Let me take a picture with you.
You can
like
take it
this.
right here.
Oh, there you go.
So
So, yeah, there
Oh
we
my
go.
goodness.
You're so sweetheart. Let me take a picture with you.
Oh my goodness.
We also have
Oh
a
my
plaque
God.
just for, while they take photos, with all the winners, and it stays here, and you can always see who's been awarded the Jean Haggerty Award. So,
my God, thank you so much. Oh my goodness.
You're the best. You're the best in the area. You represent the best of everything.
Oh my God. Wow. Oh my goodness. I am so happy to see so many of my friends here, and I'm very overjoyed and overwhelmed, of course, with this recognition. So, oh my goodness, thank you, everybody. I'll try to contain myself. Good evening. I'm also going to greet you in my language. So, I'm going to say stuff, and all you need to respond is hey, okay? Are we ready? Yes. Okay. Igbo kwenu? Hey. Nigeria kwenu? Hey. Amherst kwenu? Hey. America kwenu? Hey. Europe kwenu? Hey. Caribbean kwenu? Hey. Australia kwenu? Hey. Jewish kwenu? Hey. India kwenu? Hey. Africa kwenu? Hey. All right. Massachusetts kwenu? Hey. All right, okay. Basically, in my culture, when we have gathering, I'm from Nigeria, as you all know. My tribe, Igbo, when we gather, any type of gathering, that's how we greet people. Okay? So, yeah. Okay. I wrote some stuff down because I didn't want to forget anything. Sometimes I do have senior moments, so I want to make sure that I try to remember as much as I can. I am humble and grateful to receive Jean Haggerty Award and to join past recipients whom I have long admired and respected. First, I would like to thank the Board of Directors, Dr. D. Shabazz, Mrs. Vera Dongmani Cage, Mr. Ed Severance, Ms. Andre Battle, Ms. Jacqueline Faison, Ms. Anastasia Odones, Ms. Marisa Paham, Ms. Patrice Wilson, and the Executive Director, Mr. Jim Lescott, for this award. I appreciate your leadership, your commitment to Amherst Media. Thank you for everything that you do. I also would like to thank the Amherst Media staff and volunteers for your dedication, for everything that you do. Amherst Media is a great resource in the community, and I appreciate a variety of offerings that it presents to the community, to the resident, such as workshops, technology, services, internship, access to educational, cultural, and entertainment TV programming. I echo what Dr. Shabazz and Mr. Jim Lecrat. Let's go. Sorry, I told you. Senior moment. So we need to save Amherst Media. We all should play our part. It takes a village. I know, we need to support Amherst Media, donate, volunteer, as we enter holiday season, please, remember Amherst Media as part of your gifting this year and continue. If you're not a member, please be a member, buy membership. Any tiny bit that you can do will go a long way. Okay. So, although this award has my name on it, but I would like to share it with fellow advocates and activists who I network with, and I feel privileged to call my friends for their tireless commitment to social justice. It was really great to see some of you here tonight to support me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming. I would also like to share this award with many individuals and families who have led me into their lives. Their struggles and life experiences have taught me humility and hope. Now, I want to talk a little bit about who I am, what drives me to what I do. I was fortunate to grow up in a very loving household. My parents instilled in me the concept of kindness. And what that means is that they act what they preach, basically what they tell what they tell us. For example, with my parents, I remember my mom in particular will bring in our relatives like cousins, aunts, uncles, and just orphans. And I grew up like in a household of like 20 people or more. My sister, who is here, will knows that. And my parents treated all of us equally, like no special clothes for you, or everybody becomes their kids. And so growing up, I just felt that that's the way of life. You have to be kind. You have to, help, other people. And that's what drives me for whatever I do. When I left my country to come to the United States to join my husband, Charles, it was a leap of faith because I was going into the unknown, like so many stories of immigrants. We finally settled in Amherst, and Amherst has been such a welcoming community for my family. My kids had, good education. I do have one with autism, but it's a safe place. And I felt that I needed to be who I am in terms of, being kind, be caring. It's something that is, natural in me. It gives me satisfaction to, know that I help people. I actually take the time to make sure that every day I say something nice, kind to people. It doesn't cost anything, and it's part of my personality. That's what I do, and so many of you do the same thing. And so when people ask me what drives you, to what you do, it's just the way, I was raised. I don't know any other way. And Amherst, meeting you all, has made me to continue to do the work I do, we all do. I wanted to share that with all of you. What did I say? Also, with my mom, in addition to helping the needy and just paying school fees and doing things to people, she was also an activist, in her own time. She really empowered women to be self-sufficient in a country where sexism is like, way of life. But my mom at the time will like mentor, young women who just got married, or, encourage people like to go to school. She made sure that all her, all her, female children, had university education. it's not always like that. And so I really appreciative of the experience that I had, growing up. And so even though, both of them are no longer here, but I owe a lot to them. And so I think we should continue to, do what we do. All of you do a great job. It's just that I got the award, but sharing it with all of you. I thank you all for coming. I appreciate everything that you guys have done, to recognize me. I didn't expect it. I'm just happy being a mom, grandmother, or sister, or whatever, a wife. I also want to recognize my family who are here tonight. My daughter, Angela, actually surprised me last night. She showed up. She took time off from work, and because I had told her it was, midweek, during, work day. If she can't come, I understand. She maxed her vacation time due to her sister's wedding. But her boss said, "Are you kidding me? You have to go. This is a big deal. Your mom is getting an award. You have to go." So last night I was just relaxing, and then she walked in. She arranged with my husband, with her dad, so they walked in. Thank you for coming. My appreciation for my beloved family who just let me do what I do. I am the face of the public, but the real, person who do the work is my husband. Like, he picks up, my slack at home. He is the best husband you can ever have. I have no complaint. I'm so very lucky. She enabled me to do what I do. And I'm so grateful that my sister, visiting from Nigeria, is able to attend tonight, to have a little bit of, taste of what, we do in Amherst. So thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. I'm repeating myself, but I'll continue, to be kind. It's just who I am. I'm not a perfect person, but I just don't like people to be in distress. I don't like people to, struggle, and that's just who I am. So thank you all so much. I didn't cry, so that's good. I did not cry.
Thank you, Mrs. Pat. My remarks is Mrs. Pat on the books, but off the books, she's 1,000 times the very generous individual. It's her private acts of humanity and kindness. That is the reason for this award. Thank you.
We've seen it. Thank you.
Thank you, my rep. Thank you so much. I'm overjoyed. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.